So it's been almost exactly 1 year since I started side hustling, or at least taking them seriously. And I wanted to summarize what are some of the things that I've learned, what actually works, what you should avoid, and some of the lessons along the way to make your journey better and much shorter than mine. I failed quite a lot, and I don't want you to do the same. As always, if you're interested in making money online, please smash the like button and subscribe. We do this every single week. We find out new ways to make money online. Most of them don't work, but some of them do. And my goal will always be 100% honesty. Before we dig into the lessons and what actually works, I want to go through some numbers to recap and showcase to you what side hustling looks like realistically. If you look at the earlier months that I actually tried this out, you'll notice I didn't make a lot of money. $300, $528, $393, probably enough to make most people give up, at least me, because where I live, this money doesn't amount to much. A coffee in downtown Toronto is extremely expensive. However, I stuck with it, and slowly but surely I saw some momentum and some growth, with the last 5 months in particular being particularly awesome, all being over $1,000. As you'll see, this is not anything crazy like these online gurus and side hustlers want you to believe, that you'll make $10,000, $20,000, or I've even seen $1 million trying side hustles. That is most likely not going to be the case, at least in the first year. This is more realistic, and I can almost guarantee you what you'll see if you actually start side hustling. You're not going to see enough money to replace your full-time income. Actually, you're not going to even see enough money to pay your rent. But it is something if you stick to it. I can promise you that. And if those numbers are too much for you, this is what captures it all. I've made nearly $1,000 every single month on average for the last 12 months. Let's jump into the lessons and what actually works so you can avoid all of the mistakes that I did. The number one lesson, and I think this is actually the number one lesson, is that anything that seems too easy to do probably pays the least. And I want to start with something that actually does work, which is surveys. For example, prolific.com, Swagbucks, and other survey websites, they actually pay you money to fill out some information about yourself and then answer some questions that have been submitted to them by companies that need your feedback on products and services. The only problem is that you'll get paid only $2 or $3 for every survey that you complete for most of these survey websites. That means that you can spend 25, 30, 40 minutes doing a survey and get paid $2 for it. It's not a good time return for your money at all, and it's also not scalable, which is my second point. The side hustles that are actually the best are not the ones that pay you the most, but the ones that you can scale up and the ones that you can stay consistent with. And here's where I want to talk about two side hustles that I actually love and have made thousands of dollars doing in the last year. The first one being dividend investing. You buy stocks and you get paid for holding stocks. I know it sounds like a cheat code, and it really is. All you need to do is buy stocks in your country. You can search your country name plus dividend stocks and then press enter, and you get a list of stocks and a list of ETFs or exchange trade funds that you can take advantage of. I've talked about this extensively in previous videos and I'll link them here. I don't want to go into too much detail in this video, but this hustle in particular is extremely scalable. For example, I'll quote one of the stocks that I buy, VFV. This is an ETF that tracks the S&P 500 and pays dividend. The first ever dividend that I got from this ETF was around $1, which is nothing. But now the same ETF, because I've stayed with it for 3 years, consistently investing and reinvesting, the same ETF now pays me more than $100. You see the scale here from when I started to now. It's sustainable, and that's why it works. And the second side hustle that I'll quote and that actually works is freelancing, specifically for me, Fiverr.com. Acquiring skills and selling services is something that will never go out of fashion. And if you can find a skill that actually works for you and that you're interested in, you can make potentially hundreds of thousands of dollars doing this. I haven't done that yet. Some experienced freelancers have, but the first step is acquiring a skill. And acquiring a skill takes time. I understand that. But that is where patience comes in, and that is where consistency comes in. I'll quote myself again. I am good at helping people prepare for interviews, which is what I decided to sell. When I started, I charged $5. I had really high quality work, really excellent deliverables, and I actually over-delivered. I still over-deliver every time I deliver an order. Now the key point is it took me the same amount of time to do the work, whether I'm charging $5 or $60. The only thing is I stuck with it, I stayed patient, and now I'm able to charge more because I have social proof and reviews. Do side hustles that are scalable. Freelancing and dividend investing are two perfect examples of side hustles that are scalable and side hustles that I've used to make thousands of dollars in the past year. I'll link all of the proof here. I'll just keep on shooting numbers. You can pause and see the proof for yourself, but these two are legit and these two actually work. The only thing is patience, and the only thing is sticking to it for more than a year. The third and perhaps the harshest lesson is that 99.9% of YouTubers, online gurus, people in the side hustle space in general are lying to you and are scamming you. If you see something that is too good to be true, it's not true. I'm sorry to disappoint you. Somebody claiming you can make $5,000 a month using ChatGPT. It's not true, because if it was so easy, why are they spending time making YouTube videos? Why are they not just going out and doing the same thing 10 times, making $50,000 a month, and then living their life happily ever after? Why do they have to come on YouTube and say things that are not true? One thing I'll say here, and you can use this yourself, is where is the proof? If anybody's saying they made $10,000, $20,000, $30,000 doing X, Y, or Z, look at the proof first. Don't look at what they're doing in the entire video, because that is their trick. They just get you in with a thumbnail and then they just keep on talking about something that they haven't even tried, there is no proof of, to get watch time from you, to get your likes, to get your subscribes, and then make YouTube ad revenue. And better yet, sell you a sponsorship or sell you an affiliate link. This is what 99.9% of YouTubers are doing. I would say 100%, but then there's me who's not doing this. So 99.9999% YouTubers are doing this. There are a few good ones out there, but just be careful, look at the proof. If it's too good to be true, it's not true. You cannot make $10,000 doing absolutely nothing. That's not how the world works. If that was actually the case, the smartest people in the world would be doing the same. The fourth lesson, and I think this is important for people that actually have a job like myself, is that your time is a finite resource. You don't have an unlimited amount of time, so you need to be doing some things that are going to be successful in the long run. Do not waste your time chasing things that you have no expertise in, because you're not going to be able to sustain that in the long run. If I talk about myself, I clearly know what I'm good at, and I clearly know that I like finance and I like technology. Those two are my niches, and I've stuck to this. When I talk about my Fiverr freelancing, I'm focusing more on technology, more on the technical aspects of the job. And when I talk about investing and making YouTube videos, just finance in general, I'm sticking to my personal finance / investing / making money side of my personality. I know what I am, I'm very comfortable with it, and I know for a fact that even 10 years down the line, if I'm doing the same things, of course improving along the way, I would be happy and I would be successful at it. So your time is a finite resource. Use it wisely. Do not use it doing things that you have no idea about, because you're not going to be able to sustain that, especially in this side hustle world. For example, if you do a user testing survey for $10 that took you an hour, you can spend that hour building up your freelancing portfolio and then selling to clients on Fiverr. I talk about this extensively in my monthly videos. I'll leave a link down below. You can check those out. I detail how to get started and how to get those first clients in the first place. But you have to put in that effort. You have to put in that 1 hour for that long-term gain. Of course, you can spend that 1 hour doing those $2, $3 surveys again and again. But if I told you you can make $5 right now in freelancing, but a year down the line, 2 years down the line, you can charge $70 for the same product, would you not prefer that? That is a question I leave you with. I don't think doing surveys is anything bad. I've made money doing this, and it's actually legit. It actually does work. But think about your time as a finite resource and use it to build up your portfolio and build up your skills. So ultimately, you're able to charge more for them. The fifth lesson, and perhaps for me personally, this is the most important one, is that rejection is inevitable. It is what it is. You might try out 10 side hustles and all 10 of them might fail. Actually, you might try out 100 and all 100 might fail. But this is where consistency and just that tenacity of keeping on comes in. You need to keep going. I've failed perhaps maybe 100 times on this channel live in front of this camera. You can find out this playlist that I have, Make Money Online. You can find out my investing playlist. Literally 99% of the things that I've tried have failed. And I'm comfortable with that, because failure is a big part of growth and it's a big part of making money online. The making money online space is extremely saturated. You're not going to be able to just break in unless you get lucky or are absolutely spectacular. And for me, unfortunately, I'm a pretty average person. I don't have any special skills per se, but I do have that tenacity and I do have that knack for working hard and then dealing with failure. Because I know that nothing's going to be easy online. There's 100,000 people vying for the same attention and vying for the same products, vying for the same customers, and that's okay. I will work on my craft. I'll work on acquiring customers and then building those relationships in the long run, because I think if you're honest and if you work hard, you can withstand any rejection, but you have to be comfortable with it. You might fail for 6 months straight, which I did with some of my gigs. They haven't taken off yet, and it's been a year. Some of them have, but some of them haven't. Some of the things I've tried have worked really well, while others have completely flopped. It is what it is. Failure is inevitable. Get comfortable with it, and I promise you there's there's light at the end of the tunnel. The next lesson, and this is perhaps a more business focused slash career focused lesson, is you will have to build leverage using relationships. People value relationships, people value social proof, and people value connection. When it comes to your online presence, this has to be your personal brand. If you talk about Fiverr or freelancing in general, think about it. If you have 0 reviews, why would someone go for you over someone that has 1,000 reviews? Most of these sites, for any skill that you have, would actually have hundreds of people selling already. How do you set yourself apart is by over-delivering every time that you do something. For example, let's talk about freelancing and building an audience there. When I started, I had no social proof, I had 0 reviews, but I was still selling something. How I distinguish myself is by pricing extremely low, the lowest possible, $5. Because I couldn't go lower. I literally would have done it for free if I could, but I couldn't have. And that way, people were able to say, hey, it's $5. Hopefully the value is good. I'm going to take a calculated risk on this. And their risk was, of course, rewarded because I delivered more than $100 of value on every sale that I made. Similarly, let's talk about this YouTube channel. I would say I'm not like a professional YouTuber per se. I don't have 1 million subscribers or anything. But every video that I make sure that there's a concept that people in the making money online / personal finance space would appreciate. And I bring my own personality to it by not scamming people. Literally, that is the niche that I'm in, is finding realistic ways, because as I said before 100 times, most of the people in this space, whether they have 5 million subscribers or 2 subscribers, all of them just don't have proof. They don't do it for the right reasons, in my opinion. And so I saw an opportunity to jump in. And I think there's a lot of people, not in just the US and Canada, but throughout the world, that really want to find realistic ways and want somebody that doesn't scam them and tries out new things for them. And I wanted to be that person. So I want to build relationships with people like that stick with me throughout the journey and learn something along the way. Even if 2 people say that, you know, your video helped me start a side hustle, or your video helped me avoid a scam from this XYZ creator, for me, the purpose is fulfilled. I don't really have anything to sell you. I never will. I don't have a Discord membership, no course. I don't believe in those things personally, which is why I think channels like this are important in this space. Now, the lesson I'm going to talk about is more philosophical in nature. Of course, in making money and in life in general, you need a strong purpose and you need a strong why. Why are you doing the things that you're doing? What is your motivation? Because if you don't have that motivation, if you don't have that strong why, you're not going to be able to stay consistent, and unfortunately, you're not going to be able to see success online. If you don't start off with intrinsic motivation, you're not going to be able to sustain those punches that I talked about in the second and third lessons. You have to have a strong why. And that why doesn't have to be very humanitarian. It can be something like, I like helping people prepare for interviews. For example, me. I genuinely do love when something that I do helps someone land a job. That is a feeling that I like, and that is a feeling that I monetize now. My goal wasn't to completely monetize that and completely ignore the human aspect. I literally do like coaching people from when I meet them to a point where they're excellent at giving interviews and excellent at landing roles, at negotiating, and going for the career that they love. For me, that is a strong enough why to continue this. With investing, what is my why? I want to protect my wealth. I want my future self to thank myself right now for saving and protecting my generations way down the line. My kids, my grandkids, all of them are going to benefit if I stay consistent, if I save and invest and earn these dividends and reinvest. With this YouTube channel, what is my why? My why is to help other people avoid scams, find out realistic ways to make money that they can then use to help their families and help themselves pay rent, pay bills, or just get a financial cushion. And most importantly, I'll reiterate this again, I want to call out these YouTubers, call out these gurus, because I've just had enough with these scams and these scummy people scamming innocent and desperate people off their watch time and their money. I've just had enough of that. So that is a strong why. I have 3 strong whys to why I do certain things. And for me, even though times get tough sometimes, they keep me going. Similarly, you need to find out your why, because if you don't, it's going to be very hard, almost impossible, I would say, for you to stay consistent and grow to a point where you actually achieve escape velocity, which is you're able to do whatever you want. So that's it. Those are some of the lessons that I think are extremely important while trying to make money online, and also some of the things that actually worked and have worked for me. As always, if you're interested, do not forget to subscribe and smash the like button. We try this out every single week. We try out new things, and some things, as you've seen, have made me thousands of dollars in the past year, and hopefully will continue to do so. My goal will always be to be fully transparent and honest. I hope you enjoyed this, and I'll see you in the next one.